Hey friends, Sparky Mark here, and I am doing a little bit of a test in my test world. Recently, I've had a video that's gone viral. It is about how to cheese in. I'd heard that you can cheese into a cop car by knocking it down to almost where it starts the alarm, and then crash into it with your vehicle, and then that causes it to make the alarm go off, but it doesn't call zombies. In the comments, people have said, why not just use lockpicks, which is a good, valid point. But I was going to do 10 with lockpicks, 10 with beating into it, and 10 with crashing into it with a vehicle. But you can't lay down locked cop cars. So I am not going to be able to do the lockpick part. So I will, at the end, maybe fly around and see if I can find enough actual cop cars in the world to test the lockpick also. But for now, I'm going to do the beating and see how many times beating into it, because it's been brought up that, yeah, sometimes when you beat into it, it does not call. So I'm going to see what the percentage of that is and how many times crashing into it, if it calls at all. So let's get this thing started. I'll start with the beating into it with the pickaxe, and then we'll go from there. Okay, first test. Called. No call. Okay. In the beating into it test, if you're low level, this is not advisable, but in the beating into it test, 6 out of the 10 times, so 60%, called the zombies, and 40% didn't. So I guess if you're a gambling person, you could give that a try. Let's move on to the crashing into it with a vehicle. I tried this with the motorcycle, and it blew it up. So it hurt it so much that it blew it up. So yeah, how far you beat it down makes a difference. So I'm going to try it with the bicycle now and see how this works. Not well. Wow, okay. That wasn't good at all. Let's try something else, because that didn't work at all. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, got it close. If it explodes, they may have done something to it. Nope. Okay. Let's shut that up. So, our conclusion of this is crashing into it with a bike does cause it to go off, but not call 100% of the time. The caution is if you beat it too close to doing and you crash into it too hard. The bike did fine, but when I tried the motorcycle, it actually exploded the car. So you lose everything anyway. So the cheesing of crashing your bike into it works 100% of the time. And saying that, I'm guessing that they will at some point patch that so it's not going to do that. Now what I'm going to do is there is this one cop car that actually is locked, so I will try lock picking it, and I will do a test on locked cars with lock picks and seeing how many lock picks it takes to average open a car. That is always the safest way and non-cheesy way, but yeah, I think it's going to turn out that you need quite a few lock picks on average to get into a car. So I may have to, this may take a bit of time, but we'll do this and see what happens. Out of the 3 cop cars that I opened in the forest area, this is what I got. Some 9mm, some shotgun, a pipe pistol, drinks. Yeah, not much. Not anything real good. That's because the loot stage is a little lower. There's the snow biomes. Let's go over here and see how many we can find over here and what we get out of them. Okay, in the snow area, I did 8 of them, and this is what I got. It's not really that much greater. It's obviously based on your game stage. Being in the snow probably raises it a little bit, but nothing here that's really all that's great. All pipe rifles. There's a couple of mods. Some bullets is always good, but nothing that's been wowing. I think I'm going to go over and try a little more. Right now I have 11 cop cars I've opened. I'm going to try a few more, get a bigger sampling. So we'll continue in just a second, and then we'll do a wrap-up. Okay, I opened 5 cop cars in the desert area, and roughly the same kind of stuff. Real low-level stuff. Let's go try another few areas. I'm kind of getting into seeing how much, the lock picks haven't been used as much as I usually experience it. So let's do a few more tests, and maybe we'll hit the burnt and see if we can find the wasteland, and then we'll wrap that up. So let me see what I can go find now. Okay, 4 of them in the burnt biome, and this is what I got. Some, roughly the same stuff. The rocket launcher parts were a little bit better, but yeah, pretty much the rest of it's just your standard stuff. So nothing to write home about. So let's go see if we can find the wasteland, and we'll give that a shot. Okay, we did 5 cop cars in the wastelands, and the loot here was slightly better. This is tier 2, and this is tier 2. And you got a Molotov, and the rest of it's fairly standard, but it was slightly better loot. For the totals, it took us to open these 25 cop cars. It took us a total of 54 lockpicks. 5 times it used 0 lockpicks. 10 times it used 1. 4 times it used 2. 3 times it used 1. 4 times it used 1. 5 times it used 2. 2 times it used 5, I'm sorry. 6 lockpicks 1 time, and 13 lockpicks 1 time. So from me looking at this, it seems like if you don't get it on the first or second, and you might stretch it to the third try, it may add up to a bunch. But once you start, it's kind of hard to stop. So 5 out of 25, so that's what, 20% of the time you get in on the first try, and then more from there. The best was 0, and the worst was 13 lockpicks on one vehicle. And it wasn't different from, zone to zone. Any of the higher zones didn't have harder lockpicking types. So to wrap that all up, the lock pickings, I just talked about that. The breaking into it with your pickaxe, about 60% of the time it calls people. This is a small sampling, but 60%, 6 times it called the zombies and 4 times it didn't. So when you crashed, out of the 10 times it never called. But the problem with that was if you get it too close to broken, a couple of times it did blow up on me. So you could blow the cop car up and lose everything, or blow yourself up. So there's the cautions. So I think that's about enough for this video. So, friends, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any likes, comments, or subscriptions, please do. And if you have any more I just wondered ifs, leave them in the comments, and I'll see if I can take a look at them. And for now, this is Sparky Mark, and I am out.